Okay, so welcome to the 5-day embodiment experience. Keep the channel open. Essentially, what we're going to be doing over the next 5 days is inquiring into 5 different emotions. And we'll be using the presence of embodiment to really free stuck energy in the body and the mind that can prevent us from really fully tapping into our creative life force energy. And we'll talk more about that each day, really expanding upon that. There is a playlist for you. So if you want to use the playlist when we get into the embodiment part, there is a link there that you can open up, maybe on your phone, however you do that. But know that you can do this practice without music as well. And I want to do just a little bit of talking to explain, for those of you who aren't familiar with the energy body, just explain a little bit about that, because that's going to be so much what we're journeying into in the next 5 days. So in Indian medicine, in India, Ayurveda and yoga, they refer to the energy body through pathways called nadi, and we'll say like energy vortexes or pools called chakras. And in Chinese medicine, they speak about these energy pathways as meridians. So the energy body, which is also called the subtle body, you can imagine it like rivers, many rivers flowing through our body. So the nadis are these rivers that are flowing throughout our body, these channels, and the meridians as well. And these meridians in Chinese medicine, as I said, and nadis in the ancient yogic scriptures, lead to these pools of kind of concentrated energy, which in yoga is referred to as the chakras. So if you're a human being, life will disrupt the energy in these energy bodies. And what this is called your chi in Chinese medicine, or your prana in yoga. And chi means breath or life force energy, and same as prana. Prana means breath or life force energy. So life, just living life, our daily stresses, and then also the bigger things that can happen do disrupt this chi or this prana. And so it's essential for us to have these rituals, have these practices to clear the pathways. I like to explain it like this, like life is happening. And so imagine a river flowing and leaves are going to blow in it. A tree, a branch might fall into the river. Trash bags might blow into it. And so it starts to get a little bit dirty, right? As life just happens and starts to blow into the river. And then if enough of that happens and there's not clearing, then those branches and those leaves and those plastic bags can start to bunch up, right? And they can get caught up in those pools of energy and actually create a total stagnation. And so this practice of embodiment, this is breath, this is presence, this is movement, stretching, shaking, dropping into our body from the neck down is what actually clears it out. It's like going into the river and picking out the leaves, picking out the plastic bags, picking out the branches, and clearing that pathway so that it can flow. And when our chi, when our prana is flowing efficiently, we feel that. We feel more vitality. We feel more vibrance in our life. Our creative life force is flowing more freely. And when I talk about creative life force, I'm not just talking about your personal creative expression, which is a big part of it, but I'm talking about your creative life force in the sense of, as a human being, everything you are and everything you do is about creation. So whether this is creating a piece of art or creating a business or creating a home or creating a family, when our chi, when our prana is flowing more efficiently, those aspects of our life, which is all encompassing, are flowing with more truth and more grace in our life. So how I've set up these 5 days is in traditional Chinese medicine, also referred to as TCM, there are 7 primary emotions that are attached to different internal organs in our body. And those internal organs are also connected to the meridians. So the 7 primary emotions are joy, anger, worry, grief, melancholy, fear, and like shock or fright. We're going through 5 because we're going to match up grief and melancholy, and we'll match up fear and fright together. So again, that's joy, anger, worry, grief, melancholy, fear, shock, or fright, whichever word resonates with you more. And we'll go through each one each day. So today we're working with worry, the emotion of worry. And feel free to write any of this down too. So at the end, we will be doing a journaling process that I call body talk. But as I speak in the beginning, before we get into the embodiment, if there's anything that you want to write down, I highly recommend it. So with regards to the emotion of worry, which I laugh because it's just such a human thing, right? I don't think anyone ever hears that and is like, yeah, no, got none of that in my life. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's connected to the spleen. So the spleen is in the upper left part of your abdomen, just to the left of your stomach. And our spleen supports our immune system, our metabolism, and general functions of the body, particularly during times of high stress. In addition, in TCM, the spleen is related to digestive issues. And again, like I said, and according to TCM, it also stores the emotion of worry. So there is the meridians that flow related to the spleen, start at the foot, move up the inner thigh, then move up the pelvis into the torso, kind of on the outside of the torso, and then come up to, up where the spleen is here, up high, and then drops down to about the 7th rib. So the next 3 days, in fact, all the meridians that we're going to be playing with start at the foot, go up the inner thigh, and run up our torso in a certain area. So we'll be doing movements that open up the inner thigh, movements that open up the front of the body, the side of the body. And the reason I share this is really like, while today we're focusing on the spleen and we're focusing on worry, it's not that we'll also be addressing other organs, other emotions, other energy channels. So it's really this holistic, all-encompassing practice each day, just opening up this specific inquiry, right, around worry in our life, how it shows up, and what we can do to help release that. So the final thing I want to share before we start getting embodied is each day I'm going to be sharing something of the 7 mind traps. Again, we only have 5 days, so I'll share 1 to 2 mind traps each day. So mind traps are kind of these mental blocks that we develop, and they're behaviors. So the 2 that I want to share with you today are 2 behaviors that all of us, right? So no shaming here, no judging. This is just the human condition. There are 2 mind traps that we can really get caught in. And again, these are 2 behaviors that will trap us in worry. So the first one is called catastrophizing. And what catastrophizing is when the mind goes into that what if, worst case scenario thinking. And we all do this, whether we're going through a pandemic or we have worry and catastrophizing around our finances, around our career, around our families. Again, it's just part of our human condition. And also, when we bring awareness and mindfulness into it, we can make other decisions. So it's very easy for the mind to go to that worst case scenario. And especially if we're not aware of it, if we're not doing inquiry into that and going, okay, is that a pattern of mine? Is that a mind trap that I get caught into quite often? So we have something in science called the negativity bias, which basically states that it is easier for the human brain, the human mind, to go to and think about the negative. And so it takes a conscious practice for us to also focus on and shift our attention to what is working in our life, or open doors of possibility through a bit more contemplative, creative problem solving. So one way you can work with catastrophizing is, first of all, it's just about awareness. Like, you catch yourself, you're in it. Oh man, I am totally catastrophizing. And I'm in that what if, worst case scenario. And when I catch myself in that, I just, one, notice it. And then I go, okay, so what else could be true here? What else could be true here? Let me really tap into my creative problem solving, and what are other possibilities that could also be true here? So again, it's just about opening your mind and catching yourself, getting yourself out of that corner that we can really push ourselves into when we get caught in that mind trap. The other mind trap that can really get us really stuck in that worry place is the shoulds. So the shoulds involves having essentially a list of unbreakable rules for yourself and others. And this would look like this. It'd be like thinking and talking that sounds like I should be, I should have, or I should do, fill in the blank by now. Right? We all have those. And the way you can really work with this mind trap is catch yourself thinking or speaking the words I should. And when you do, again, it's about bringing reverence and compassion. Okay, I'm human, there I am. And also this thinking, how is it making me feel? And is this how I want to feel? And a really simple antidote to this is you just change the words I should to I could. So I could be by now. I could have, fill in the blank by now. I could do by now. And it softens the energy. It opens up the mind to go, yeah, I could, but I don't, and I haven't. And maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe my life doesn't want that. Maybe society or family has told me that I'm supposed to, but maybe there's a reason. So I hope those were helpful. Again, just inquiry and contemplation into how worry manifests in your life. And now with that being said, let's get into our bodies. So we're going to start with some breath work, and then we'll do a little bit of self-myofascial release on the foot, and then we're going to do some stretching and some moving, and end with some self-myofascial release. So at this point, if you would like music during the embodiment practice, go ahead and hit play on the playlist that I shared with you. And if not, that's fine. And wherever you are in the world, just take a moment, come into a comfortable seat, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, soften the space between your eyebrows by closing the eyes or just softening the gaze. Good. And we're going to do a practice called Nadi Shodhana. So it's also known as alternate nostril breathing, and it can have a profound calming effect on your body, your mind, and your nervous system. So Nadi means channel, which we're working with the energy channels, and Shodhana means purification. We're going to do 4 rounds of these. You're going to take your right hand and make peace fingers, and then draw the fingers together, bring it to your third eye. So you're slightly stimulating the third eye here. And then inhale through both nostrils. Seal the right side with your thumb and exhale through the left. Beautiful. Inhale through the left side. Seal that, hold both. Release the right side and exhale. Inhale through the right side. Seal and hold about 3 seconds. Release the left side, exhale slowly. That's 1 round. We'll do 3 more. Inhale through the left side. Seal and hold. Release the right side, exhale. Inhale through the right side. Seal and hold. Release the left side, slow exhale. Continuing on, inhale through the left side. Seal and hold, relax the jaw, relax the shoulder. Release the right side, exhale. Inhale through the right side. Seal and hold. Release the left side, exhale. 1 more round, inhale through the left side. Seal and hold. Release the right side, slow release. Inhale through the right side. Seal and hold. Release through the left side, slow, slow, slow. And when you're complete, bring your right hand onto your lap. Let a natural inhalation occur, a natural exhalation. So it balances the left and right hemisphere of the brain. And we're going to do 4 rounds of something I teach called the 4-part dynamic release breath. So inhale through both your nostrils here. And then exhale through your mouth. Second round, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Third round, inhale through your nose. And exhale with a sigh, bathing your nervous system. Fourth and final round, inhale through your nose. And then exhale any way that feels most releasing, most freeing to you. There's no right or wrong here. Again, let a natural inhalation occur and a natural exhalation. Good. So you're going to stand up and find one tennis ball or your therapy ball. And we're going to bring this to the sole of the foot. We'll start on the left side. So you're going to bring it to the ball of the foot on the left side. So the ball of the foot is just behind the toes, just behind the toes. Your heel is on the earth. And I'll turn sideways so you can see that. Your heel is on the earth. And you're just allowing your body to lean forward. You're not pushing or forcing, but rather you're using focus to find the sensation that feels appropriate in your body at this time. And the way you use that focus is by bringing your attention to your breath. So as you breathe, you can use any of those exhales that I just taught you, exhaling out of your mouth, your nose, with a sigh, or any way that feels most releasing to you. Relax the toes as much as possible. We are sitting for a while, so hopefully this feels nice. And here at the ball of the foot, we're stimulating the lungs. So the sole of our foot is also a map of our entire body, and there's different pressure points in the sole of the foot that are connected to different internal organs as well. In addition, we have fascia covering our entire body from the sole of our foot to the crown of our head, and the thickest part of the fascia, the plantar fascia, is on the sole of the foot. And so we're beginning to open that up, which opens up the fascia in our entire body. Now you're going to bring it to the middle of the foot, the arch of the foot more or less, but bring it a little more over to the left side of the foot. And here on the left side of the foot, about halfway down, is where our spleen point is at the sole of the foot as well. So again, you're just finding a pressure that feels good to you. And this is actually my students who do dynamic release flow method with me regularly know that when I work with the sole of the foot, I often use a small rubber ball. So it's much more intense. So this is a friendly opening using a thicker ball, but at home you can also use a golf ball, any size ball that really works for you. Different pressures and shapes will change the sensation. And then for the third spot, I want you just to kind of roll around like you're painting the sole of your foot. And then just find a third spot on your own. So you're just going to listen to sensation and allow yourself to root down in a place and a way that works for you. And again, use the breath to really drop into the body from the neck down. And some of you may also be feeling this opening up along the back of the calf and the back of the leg. So again, we're already beginning to metaphorically go in, picking out the leaves and removing the branches from the rivers that are flowing through our body. And the more you stay in your breath, the more you stay embodied. And the more you stay embodied, the more present you are and the more healing that can happen. All right, my friends, so go ahead and step off of that. Take a moment, plant your feet down and just notice what you're noticing, feel what you're feeling. Really what I want you to do is notice the difference between the two sides. And for instance, I feel the foot I worked on is much more connected to the earth, but I also feel the bone of that leg is I'm more aware of it. And there's this kind of cool, tingly feeling on the foot I worked on. And then let's go ahead and move to the other foot, the right foot. And again, just bring it to the ball of the foot. So I'll go sideways. So your heel is on the foot and you're just pressing down, not with like this force, but just finding this pressure that feels good. And it's kind of just behind the ball of the foot. And you're letting the toes drape over. And breathe here. And now bring it over to the middle of the foot, more or less the arch, but bring it a bit more over to the right side. So on the right side, you're actually stimulating the bladder. The bladder. A couple more breaths here. All right, and then go ahead and just rock and roll bottom of the foot here. And then find your third and final spot. And again, let sensation be your teacher here. So there's no right or wrong, you're just listening and landing. All right, go ahead and step off of that. Place your tennis ball to the side again. We'll use that again towards the end. Root your feet down for a moment. Notice what you're noticing. Feel what you're feeling here. Good. So you're going to come to the top of your mat. We're going to play with something I refer to as the prostration chi flow. So in a dynamic release flow method class, we sometimes do these chi flows. And again, chi means breath or life force energy. And one of the principles of a dynamic release method class is that breath is boss, and you're moving much like you're doing a qigong practice. In other words, you're moving as though you're moving through thick salt water. So you're soft in the joints. And in qigong, the reason you're soft in the joints is because you don't want to lock the joints up. If you lock the joints, the qi, the prana, the life force energy cannot flow freely. And so as we move, we want to be strong in our core, strong in our center, find the elevation through axial extension through our spine. So there is this engagement of muscles, but we're soft in the joints as we move. We're slow so that we can really allow breath to be boss. And through that embodiment of focusing on the breath and moving like we're moving through water, we can really start to feel the energy body or the subtle body awaken. So we'll go through quite slowly this first time. You're going to lie on your belly and extend your arms forward. If it feels okay, have the palms touching overhead. If not, then you can have the arms wide. Bring your third eye to the mat. And then lift your right leg and then place it down, and lift your left leg and place it down. Just take a moment here. Notice what you're noticing. Feel what you're feeling before we begin. Allow yourself to just settle here, connect with the earth. Find the length in the spine. Good. And then slowly start to take your hands back alongside the shoulders off of the mat, tented fingers. As you inhale, press into the fingers, waving the spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. As you exhale, lead with the heart and wave the spine back down on the mat. The last thing that hits is the third eye. Bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes. As you inhale, slowly press up to all fours. As you exhale, press back, child's pose, hips to heels. The inhale rounds you up to all fours. So round the spine as you come up to all fours, tuck the toes. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly move back to a squat, rounding your torso in between your thighs. As you inhale, bring awareness to the back of the heart, back of the lungs, and feel the skin expanding across the back. And as you exhale, lift your hips, fold over your legs. Fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, wave the spine up halfway. Feel the low belly drawing in and up. And as you exhale, bend the knees deeply, chin to chest. Wave the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae with deeply bent knees. As you inhale, sweep the arms out and around up overhead. Remember, soften the joints as though you're moving through thick salt water. And as you exhale, bend the elbows, slight bend in the knees, lead with the heart, fold over your legs. Again, fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, wave the spine up halfway. As you exhale, slowly walk out, downward facing dog. Hold there, take a couple breaths. Pedal that out. So we'll do a couple rounds of that in case you're going, wow, that's totally new for me. And that's okay. A couple rounds, you'll really start to get that in your body. And again, remember more than anything that breath is boss. It's really about staying present to how you're breathing, much more than exactly what's going on with the body. The body will naturally start to evolve and come into the shape that is most suitable for your body, the deeper you begin to listen to the breath. Now, as you inhale, lift the heels and ripple the spine forward all the way to plank, top of a push-up. Rock forward on your tippy toes. As you exhale, lower your knees, your chest, and your chin. As you inhale, slide forward onto your belly, press the feet down. As you lift the shoulder heads, lift the head, baby cobra. Exhale, slide back out to prostration pose, arms extended forward. Inhale, back of the heart, back of the lungs. Exhale, let that go with a ah. So let's do a couple more rounds of that. Slowly start to draw your hands back off of your mat on tented fingers, elbows above the wrist. Inhale, wave the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. The last thing that lifts is the head. As you exhale, wave the spine down, lead with the heart. Last thing that hits the mat is your third eye. Bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes. As you inhale, lift up to all fours. As you exhale, untuck your toes, hips to heels, press back child's pose. As you inhale, round the spine up, all fours. As you exhale, tuck the toes and press back to a squat, letting your torso round in between the thighs. Inhale, lengthen across the upper back, upper chest. As you exhale, lift the hips, fold over your legs. Inhale, wave the spine up halfway, draw the low belly in and up, engaging the core. As you exhale, bend the knees deeply, chin to chest, wave the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale to sweep the arms out and around, up overhead. As you exhale, bend the elbows, fold over legs, slight bend in the knees as you do this. Fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, wave the spine up halfway. Exhale, slowly walk out, downward facing dog. Make it feel right in your body. Moving right on. As you inhale, ripple the spine forward all the way to plank, top of a push-up. Rock forward on your tippy toes. As you exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to slide forward, baby cobra, press the toes down, lift the head. And as you exhale, slowly extend the arms forward, prostration pose. Inhale, back of the heart, back of the lungs. Exhale, let something go. Let's do one more of those. Slowly slide the hands back alongside the shoulders, off the mat. Inhale, wave the spine up. Exhale, wave the spine down. Hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes. Inhale, press up to all fours, slowly, slowly. As you exhale, untuck the toes, hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, round the spine up, all fours. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back, squat, round the torso in between the thighs. Inhale, feel the lengthening of the skin across the upper back. Exhale, lift the hips to fold over your legs. Inhale, wave the spine up halfway. As you exhale, bend the knees, chin to chest, wave the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, float the arms up overhead. As you exhale, bend the elbows, soft bend in the knees, fold over your legs. Fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, wave the spine up halfway. Exhale, walk out downward facing dog. And let's hold downward facing dog here. Again, just pedal this out. Make it feel good in your body. Staying here about 3 or 4 breaths. Notice what you're noticing. Feel what you're feeling. One more breath here. Good. Slowly lower your knees to the mat. Keep your toes tucked. Sit back on your heels in tense toe stretch. Bring one hand onto your lap, the other palm on top of that. Let the thumbs touch, relax the shoulders. We're just here a moment. Again, more opening for the sole of the foot. Good, and then go ahead, lift the hips, untuck the toes. And we're gonna come into what's called frog pose. So this is a real deep opening for the inner thighs. And if you're on a hardwood floor, you might want to get a blanket or, pillow, but not a thick pillow. And you can always put your knee on it, on the hardwood floor, and then slide it out. But for instance, with me with the carpet, I'm just going to come out. What you're going to do is make your feet really wide. And then you want your, you may want to get a block here. Actually, I love using blocks for this. So you're getting really wide, opening up into the inner thigh and groin. Your knee and your ankle are in alignment, and then your toes are turned out. So again, knee and ankle are in alignment. You don't want to have your ankle way out, and you don't want to have your ankle way in. Totally aligned, and then foot is flexed with the toes turned out. And then widen your legs as much as that feels okay for you. Some of you will stay up on your hands here. Some of you may come to your forearm. And what I love doing is taking the block on my sternum here and allowing my body to relax onto that. So I will turn sideways so you can see this a little bit better that way. Okay. And this is a pretty deep opening, so you'll want to use your breath here. Again, you can exhale out of the mouth, the nose, with a sigh, or any way that feels most releasing to you. So something I love to teach is that when you're feeling sensation, what we often feel when we're stretching is we think, oh, a tight body. So, oh, I'm feeling the tightness in my inner thighs and my groin. But rather, what I want you to think of is that you're becoming aware of stuck energy. And so through this shape that you're creating and through the presence of your breath, this is you moving the energy. So getting the channel to flow, getting the chi to flow, the prana to flow, allowing the river of your body to flow more freely. If you want more sensation, you can play with moving your hips back a little bit in space. We're here just a couple more moments. All right, my friends. So from here, if you have one knee on a blanket or a pillow, you can slide it in. Or if you're like me and you don't have that, you're just going to slowly come up to your hands, come up, move slowly, because you're going to feel that quite intensely on the inner thigh and inner groin. And just come to sit on your shins. Take a moment, notice that. Okay. So we're going to come onto our backs. Make sure you have your 2 tennis balls nearby. We're going to first do what's called in yoga a yin pose. It's called banana asana because you're essentially making a banana shape with your body. So you're going to lie on your back and we're going to stretch the left side of our body, again, where the spleen is first. So you'll take your right leg over to the right, maybe just to the outside of your mat. Take your torso over to the right. Now, my left hip is still very much rooted to the earth. I'm just leaning my body, my torso over to the right and bringing my leg over to the right. And then if you want a bit more sensation, start scooching that left leg over to the right and maybe even cross the left ankle over the right ankle, which is my favorite. And you might notice that the right leg might have to scooch in towards center a little bit more to do that. Then reach the arms up overhead, grabbing opposite elbows or opposite wrists. So again, keep the left hip rooted down. You don't want to lift the hip up. You want the entire back body still on the earth. And if we had an aerial shot of you, you should look like a banana leaning over to the right. And you're feeling this whole opening, maybe even from the outside, like the ankle, all the way up to the elbow. But it just depends on sensation in your body. Like for me, I'm really feeling this quite a bit from the top of my left hip bone all the way up to my armpits. So we're stretching the fascia between the intercostals of our vertebrae and the connection to our hip. And again, just breathe here. Not in a way that's forceful, but a way that keeps you in your body and out of your head, out of your mind. Stay present. The breath only knows the present moment. So when we're in the past or we're in the future, we're definitely not in our breath. Two more breaths here. All right, my friends, slowly uncross the left ankle from the right if you have that. Bring the legs back to center. And then bring your torso back to center. Draw your arms by your side and just notice what you're noticing. Feel what you're feeling. Let's go ahead and get the right side of our body now. So bring the torso over towards the left leg over towards the left as well. Cross the right ankle over the left and reach the arms up overhead, grabbing opposite elbows or opposite wrists. And so now the right side of your body is getting this deep opening. And if we had an aerial view of you, it'd be like a banana leaning to the left. Keep that right hip rooted and land in this shape in a way that feels right in your body in this moment. Take a deep breath and let a sigh go. Couple more breaths. All right, uncross the right ankle from the left. Return your body back to center. And again, just take a moment to notice the effects of that. All right, the last thing we'll do before we come into our journal process is you're going to take your 2 tennis balls and we're going to stimulate where the spleen is, but on the back side of the body. So again, the spleen is on the left side of our body, and it's just kind of below the breastbone here. And so we're going to take that around. If you want to take it, you can take the tennis balls to the front of your body, just below the chest, and you're going to circle it around to bring it around to the back side of your body. So the tennis balls will not be touching. They'll be slightly apart, maybe 1 or 2 inches apart. We have these beautiful erector muscles on either side of the spine, and we're essentially bringing the tennis balls to the top of the valley there. And the best way to feed that in is to just feed it underneath your back here. Just reach underneath and slide it under, and then do that on the other side. Go ahead and have your knees bent. Make your feet a little wider than hip distance apart, and then knock the knees towards each other so that the legs are relaxed. Now begin here and just see how it feels to soften the belly and soften the front of the rib cage towards the mat. That will bring a bit more weight onto the tennis balls. Again, now this is deep fascia work, so meet yourself where you're at. Again, no forcing, only focus. Take a couple breaths as you begin to settle through the body and through the breath. You'll also relax the nervous system, and you'll just feel this natural sinking. Now, if you are wanting more sensation, no problem. The best way to do that is to draw the knees in towards the chest. So grab a hold of the shins or the knees, and you'll notice that that increases the sensation likely quite a bit. So move mindfully, and again, use your breath. If you catch yourself holding it, just notice it. Use your breath like a soft caress to release tension here. All right, if you have a hold of your knees or your shins, slowly put your feet back on the earth. Whew. Remove the tennis balls out from underneath you. And just let your body melt towards the earth here. Maybe again, make your feet hip distance apart, knock your knees towards each other. Bring your hands onto your body and just allow yourself to relax here for a moment. You can extend your legs straight, coming into a brief Shavasana. Arms by your side. And today I'll close, well, every day I'll be closing with a poem that I wrote before we come up and do our writing process. And today's poem is called Lay It Down. If it feels heavy, lay it down. Your worries, your worst case scenarios, your addictions to drama, to pain, to overwhelm, lay it down. Let yourself free from the mind traps that use your imagination to spark a flame called fear, locking into your gut like a gnarly rotted root. Conjure another possibility. Dare to ignite a flame called love, dancing you open along the waters of wonder, tickling your curiosity into care. You're free to go there. The ticket is that you must breathe. And if the temptations of worry are a force bigger than your devotion to live in love, I encourage you to pray, shake, chant your way to liberation. Because if you have truly come to a crossroad called no choice, then worry will not help. And if there is a chance of other paths, then still worry will not aid you. So give yourself reprieve. Lay down the brutal burdens of your imagination. Lay down the weight of a story you cannot bear. Lay down the heavy lifting of illusion. And breathe, sister. Breathe, brother. Breathe. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. As you do that, reach the arms up overhead, grab an opposite wrist, stretch, point your toes away from your fingers away from your toes. And as you exhale, just let everything settle towards the earth. Take a moment there, notice what you're noticing, feel what you're feeling. And as you're ready, at your own time and your own way, you're going to slowly come up to a seated position. As much as possible, keep the intention inward as you find your journal and your pen. And we're going to move into what I refer to as our body talk process. So after we've done some embodiment work, it is a beautiful time to convene with your inner world, to convene with your soul. And today's body talk process is a process that comes from someone named Amber Ray. She wrote the book, Choose Wonder Over Worry. And this process is called Working Through Emotional Knots. It is such a beautiful process. And essentially what it is this, first I should preface by saying that there's no such thing as bad emotion. We're not trying to get rid of worry, but rather we're trying to befriend it, to understand why it's showing up. So something I often share with my students is that emotions, specifically challenging emotions, are like sacred alarms from within. So the reason we're having these challenging emotions is that our soul, our inner self, our higher knowing is trying to get our attention. Something is off in our life. Something isn't right. And so when we feel an emotion such as worry, it's not about pushing it away, trying to get rid of it, but it's about going, why are you here? What's this about? So the process we're going to do today is going to take you on a journey to have a conversation with worry. And you can really do this with any emotion. Again, this is a way to work through emotional knots. However, since today we're working with the emotion of worry, we're all going to have a conversation with worry. So what you're going to do is I'm going to put up, I'll put it up so that you see it, is you're going to have a conversation. It would look like this. It would be like me writing on a piece of paper, hey, worry, it's me, Amber. So you might write like, hey, worry, it's me, Terry. Hey, worry, it's me, Laura, whatever your name is. And the first thing you'll write is, you're safe and welcome here. You're safe and welcome here. And again, I'll put this all up on the screen so you can see it. And then you're going to have a conversation with it. Once you let that emotion know that it's safe and welcome here, you're going to say, what do you want me to know? And then you're going to answer it. You're going to let that emotion channel through you and just trust what comes up. There'll be some other questions too, such as, what do you need from me? What do you need to feel safe? How can you help me? How can we work together? So again, I'm going to put those up on the screen. And I'm going to give you 10 minutes to do that. I'll put some music on and just give you 10 minutes to do that. And when you feel complete, the process is complete, but give yourself a good, like I said, 5 to 10 minutes to really journey with this, journey with having this conversation. So with that being said, let me go ahead and open this up. All right, you should see the questions up on the screen. Let me actually I have a better one here that will be easier for you to see. This is great. Let me do this one. There we go, much better. Okay, so again, you'll write, hey, worry, it's me, and then write your name. You're safe and welcome here. And then begin to ask. You can ask all these questions, one of these questions. I find it really profound to write these questions out and then just free write and imagine that worry, again, this sacred alarm is going off and I'm convening with the emotion of worry and we're letting it know, we're letting it have a voice. And when we let challenging emotions have a voice, all of a sudden, they don't have such a hard grip on us anymore. All right, so as you feel ready, go ahead, grab your journal, your pen, and begin. there's more journaling in you, then by all means continue to do that. Thank you so much for being here.